The game has just given me so much. So much joy, so much for my family, some of my best friendships and some of my best memories in my life. It's helped me tremendously. The thing about roller is you kind of get into it for the passion of the game, for the fun of the game. For a lot of people, as they progress and start to really master their sport, it's always about the next step of how do I monetize this, or how do I get a scholarship, or how do I make money? And I think for me, it was like, how do I just play at the highest level? How do I just compete and just enjoy playing roller hockey? One of the things that makes roller hockey truly special is the guys that are here because they love it.
There's nothing like the roller hockey community. Everyone gets along before tournaments, during tournaments, after tournaments. Everyone's hanging out around the rink, spending time together, hanging out and watching hockey. It's a really tight-knit community, and it's really fun to just spend time with other people.
We don't have to be perfect today, but we will have to be perfect Sunday to win this thing. So the thing that matters right now is that we're building habits, we're building character, we're doing the little things right so that we're perfect by Sunday.
It keeps me excited knowing how much people love it. The guys playing come to me and say how great it is and how much they love it. Definitely makes it all worthwhile.
We just have such a great community. People who love this sport, they want to see it exceed to another level. So I just think everyone kind of comes together.
People fall in love with it. This is what, I have such a strong passion for. People get a taste of it, and you watch your rink rat Palma game, and you want to come back and watch that a million times. Getting people out here and just kind of showing them what roller hockey is about.
Roller has always been a place for me where I find love in the game again. And it's taught me so much in life. Just feeling really lucky and appreciative to be a part of it is wild.
Our time is limited. Everyone that truly loves the sport of roller hockey values each weekend they get of it.
The State Wars Palmer Pro Invitational on the pro roller hockey scene, there's nothing better. When you show up here, you know there's no freebie games. Every game's a fight and you're battling from beginning to end.
Shoots and scores.
I've never had this one tournament that just stood out above the rest. The Palmer Pro division. All the teams are just fantastic now, top to bottom.
State Wars is different just because it's the finale of the summer run. It's just kind of become the one that everybody wants to win.
It's pretty much the pinnacle. Most would say it has the highest ranking on the pro side. Being an invitational-only tournament makes it that much more special.
This game is awesome. The community is awesome. It's really incredible. I love that guys can be so much more creative out here.
Mooney drops it for Kyle. Dropped again, no. Stick handle, shoots, scores! Now reaches to the sky.
The Palmer Pro Invitational just keeps getting better.
Mooney gets hauled down and a penalty.
Every year there's something a little different. It's just such a great sport. The future of roller hockey, you never know what's going to happen.
Do you mind telling me your name? What you're doing here in Taylor, Michigan.
Tim McManus, President, State Wars Hockey. I got started playing roller hockey when I was a kid, kind of by luck, because I grew up in Valley Stream, New York, and luckily for me, a few blocks from my house was Barrett Park, which was an outdoor roller hockey program, and I would just walk by every day with my mom or dad, and one day just said, hey, I want to try that. And after that, the rest was history. Back in 2002, 2003, at that time I had been doing a lot of coaching and playing in roller hockey tournaments. I was actually working at a hockey rink, Rapid Fire Arena on Long Island, New York. I was refereeing a high school game. The place was packed with kids going crazy about their school and high school, and I was like, wow, these kids are so into it. The pride about where they go to school for their team. And I just started thinking about, what if you were rooting for your state? And just the wheels started turning in my brain and kept developing the idea, and State Wars was born. Our first State Wars event was in 2005 in Bensenville, Illinois at the Edge. That was our first location, and we actually were there for our first 3 years. And we had 192 teams competing in our first year in 2005, which at the time was a really awesome number, especially for a startup. And here we are 21 years later, and we have 370 teams playing at State Wars. So it's grown by leaps and bounds. It gets bigger and bigger almost every year. We started out, it was just states, then eventually we added the provinces of Canada into the mix, and that took us to a whole nother level. And then down the road later on, we became international. We started getting teams from other countries coming into play. So now I feel pretty good about the fact that State Wars is known all around the world by many as the greatest tournament out there and the biggest and best. And just the fact that people in other countries, when I travel, just know what State Wars is pretty humbling, but also makes me feel really special and good. State Wars is special because it gets back to the true basics of just playing with your friends, playing with your home state, and just that pride and honor that comes with that. And you really get that sense of community with State Wars. So I think it's helped grow the community a little bit and make people a little closer, which is great to see. And my whole staff of guys, we have directors all around the country that I count on, and we bounce a lot of things off each other all the time. And some of these guys have been part of State Wars since 2005, and different people around the country that I could just lean on about things. We always want to try to be better, and it's not always easy, something, there's always a wrinkle that something happens every year and you're like, wow, I never thought of that, even 21 years later, so you never know what's going to happen. It's definitely all worth it when I see those kids coming and going, and when they win the championship, throwing their gloves and sticks in the air, and how excited they get, and just getting the feedback from some of the parents and players. The guys playing come to me and say how great it is and how much they love it. So definitely makes it all worthwhile. Luckily, I have Greg Thompson, who's my right-hand man, who does an incredible job.
What makes State Wars so special, I think, is just the pride and the passion you have from where you come from, right? State Wars is an event where you have to play with players from your state or province or country. It just kind of brings your local community and local state and programs together, and they battle it out, the ones. The passion that some of these states have and, representing where they live, I think it plays a huge role in the atmosphere that we have here at State Wars. And, you see it, players, families, they're wearing jerseys around the rink, representing where they live, California shirts all over the place, and little kids whipping around the rink with their jerseys on and trading pins. And I just think it's such a cool concept, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it. An event this big, it takes a long time to prepare for. Sometimes a couple years in advance just to book buildings, and leading up to the event, it gets a little hectic around our office. Between ordering jerseys and getting payments and making sure, teams are set with coaches and sending them, hotels and stuff like that. It's huge, it takes a lot of time, organizing stuff and merchandising and sponsors and referees and scorekeepers and staffing and dealing with the city and or the counties or the sports directors within the districts and stuff like that. It's a big undertaking, but it's fun. We love it. I wouldn't want it any other way. It's something I'm passionate about. Just love for the sport.
My name's CJ Yoder. Here at State Wars, I'm the Colorado state representative, so I'm here coaching 9 different teams, watching my 2 little ones, 2015 and 2010 play and play a sport that they love, and just giving back to the kids.
Right now, State Wars is the place to be. I truly believe that. I run a Yoderville University where we do some hockey camps and things like that in Colorado, and then we have our travel program. The kids want to go to State Wars. We have 9 teams here. I only had 4 or 5 this year, where that was always the thing to do. Your travel program, that's what you wanted to do. People want to come here. Timmy and Greg do a phenomenal job. from Palma Pro, which to me, I think you could probably ask everybody that played in that division, this is the pinnacle. This is what, I don't even know what the money is because I lose so much that I wouldn't know what the money was anyway. But I don't know what the money is at Tours or Narch or here. I don't even know what the money is, but just caliber of play, they want to come here. The Palma Pro is the biggest one. You know, this is where, okay, who is the best team in the world? You know, all the way down to, you know, 6 and unders and 8 and unders from all over the world that get the opportunity to play on Team Jedi or whatever they want to call them if they don't have a state team. You know, this is the place to be. At the end of the summer, this is the one everybody wants to go to. So, you know, you're asking me, again, I wasn't there the first 2 or 3 years, but everything they've done have built into the pinnacle of our sport.
My name's Phil Maroon. I am from St. Louis, Missouri, and I've been in roller hockey since 1992. All-American, St. Louis, Missouri, home rink. It's been a huge part. I played the first Narch ever, 1994, and I've been dialed in ever since, 31 years later in tournament play. State Wars has done such a good job in general when it comes to youth and the teams, and Timmy took his time on bringing the pro division into his tournament, right? So pro, it's always been around, it's been a thing, but we've never had like this one tournament that like just stood out above the rest, right? And Timmy took his time with it, and he was a part of those, and he was playing in those, and he was coaching those tournaments, and he was able to find a way to do something different, but also be able to bring the best talent together and to be in a very competitive tournament, right? And it's really because he just took the time with it. He didn't rush into it. It wasn't a need at first. He focused on the youth, he focused on the kids, and he focused on growing the game. Once he felt like he put everything he could into that, and then he's grown this to a good spot, you know, it was time to kind of focus in on the pros and see how he can take care of them next. And Timmy just did a hell of a job, and Greg as well.
My name's Nick Boyarski. I am here with Connex Hockey as a sponsor, and I'm here with the Arizona State Wars teams, 2014 and 2007. Having coached Palma Pro teams in the past, it is, without any kind of controversy, the best pro tournament there is. It's always the best players, it's always, you know, everybody's strongest roster, and winning every game is a slog and a battle, and you know, getting even out of the round robin, staying in that you know, top teams to get the invite next year. Those are all things that are in your brain as you're trying to play every single game and make every single decision as a coach and a player. So the stakes of every round robin game, every playoff game are high. There is just no other comparison for it.
My name is Rob Chornemud. I'm the coach and GM of the Palma Beta Golden Knights. I started in roller hockey, you know, late 80s. You know, just kind of driving around, saw some kids playing in a local school, and you know, went back home, grabbed my stick, dug out some skates, and showed up at the park, and we ended up you know, just meeting a great bunch of guys and started playing at that time, and it just kind of rolled from there. The State Wars Palma Pro Invitational on the pro roller hockey scene, there's nothing better. I mean, you've got a tournament that you get the invite based on how you did the year before. You have to be invited to make it. You got to finish in the top 6 to 8 teams the prior year to even get the invite to begin with. Otherwise, you're battling through the pro play-in, which in itself is another battle to get through to be the top 2 to come into the top 8. And it allows those teams that, you know what, you may be a fringe team, but now because of all the other teams that aren't available to get in there, you're getting a chance to pick up the players that may be able to put you over the top to be able to compete at that level. So you're facing that team that weekend that is maxed out on skill, players, you know, and the competition level is through the roof. you're in a tournament that, due to the invite only, it's by far the elite tournament there is to win. You have the best of the best showing up, but the one thing is, when you show up here, you know there's no freebie games. Every game's a fight and you're battling from beginning to end. Well, Mike Nyjar is our patriarch, our mentor, he's the guy that initially would show up into our locker rooms, motivate our players. And, we've had the mantra, we have a 1 through 7, which, it kind of refocuses everybody in the locker room. Your attitude determines your altitude. So it just gets everybody synced in. Elephants don't bite. I feel wonderful today. Don't let anyone disturb your peace of mind. The best is yet to come. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. And it's not where we've been, it's where we're going. So it's just a matter of kind of dialing your mindset, your focus, your discipline, so that you're going into every game believing and knowing that, we're the team that can get this done if we all show up and have our minds screwed on straight. We feel super confident in our style, in our players. And we give them the leash to go out there and just do what's right for our program, because our guys really truly believe that we're one shift away, one moment away from either scoring a goal, ending a game, and we truly believe in one another. If there's time on the clock, we have a shot at it. So we never give up on each other. And we have a great support system where our guys are always there to pick up when mistakes happen. And, we're as close to a family as you're ever going to get. So I think that combined together gives us the best opportunities to pull these games out.